Today on Fitness Under Fire, are we finally celebrating healthy female body types and departing from that anorexic model look? Hi everyone, welcome to Fitness Under Fire, a channel dedicated to debating current topical and often controversial topics in the fitness industry. Now remember, for any debate that we do, the topics are always assigned randomly, and so the positions being argued for aren't necessarily the views of the person who's arguing for them. But we'll try to give some credence to both sides of every debate so that you at home can make a decision for yourself. And for today, we have Christina on one side, Kat on the other, and I'm your moderator, Al. And for today's topic, are we finally celebrating healthy female body types and departing from that anorexic modelish look?
All right, Christina, I'll let you start this off.
Why, thank you. Very kind. Very civilized. Okay,
For now.
For now. Okay, so this topic I found really interesting, and so just want to throw it back a little bit, give some history to the audience. There's some of our younger viewers. Kind of as a reference point, if we recall in the 90s, the 1990s, there was a trend of a look that was very skeletal, very skinny. We're talking women in particular. It was a very runway model time. Kate Moss was like a big thing, and I remember this. It was like skinny eyebrows, but also very skinny women, and it could be pretty damaging to people. And one great example of this that I think of is if you recall the show Ally McBeal.
Yep.
We recall Ally McBeal was a
Greatest lawyer.
Great show.
I'm too young to remember.
No, you're not. And I just watched season 2 of Ally McBeal when I was home with the wisdom teeth being just pulled out for a while. It was great. And if we remember on that, there was Callista Flockhart and Portia de Rossi specifically were very, very thin on that show. And Portia de Rossi actually spoke afterwards. She had a memoir or a documentary or something like that. And she talked about how she was anorexic during that time and a lot of her struggles she had there. So there was just, this was the look of the age. And,
All right, so
yeah.
Enough of nostalgia lane.
Yes.
Let's go to now.
Yeah, so now what we're seeing is a big departure from that. It's changed gradually, but at the point we're finding ourselves now is so different. And I did some hardcore research.
All right, let's hear it.
Googled, it was a sad time, I Googled best celebrity bodies for 2018, 2019. I'm full of shame. But I found a very reputable source, Us Magazine. Yes, correct. And the article is entitled "The Best Celebrity Beach Bodies of 2018. Stars working it in bikinis and in swimsuits." Okay, and this,
Who's on that list?
I'm going to tell you who's on that list because it's an example of how we've reached a much healthier place. We had Kim and Kourtney Kardashian. We had Ashley Graham.
You call that healthy? Okay.
Ashley Graham, healthy. Elizabeth Hurley, who was kind of awesome. Olivia Munn, Jennifer Lopez, who's just magnificent at 50. And the point of this hardcore research.
No Christy Brinkley?
I don't know. There was a long list, and there were also
Most
a lot
of
of
these people, I have no idea who they are.
There were a lot of people, I had no idea who they were. But when you're scrolling through the pictures, the main point there is there were different body types. And there was body fat, and there was muscle and tone. These are people who are working out. And what's common to a lot of celebrities now as well, who we kind of idolize and have these perfect bodies that we all want to have, is that, like, if you follow them on Instagram, you see them working out. You see them like what's her name? Like J-Lo.
Just because they're working out doesn't mean they're actually healthy and that they're actually the weight that they should be. Let's point that out.
It is true, but they at least have enough body fat and muscle to sustain energy to do workouts. And a lot of them can't fully lie.
Have you heard of orthorexia, which is a big problem?
I have heard about it, and some of them may have that, but the general sense is that they're not going to fall and collapse into a puddle of bones the way they would have in the 90s.
What better? Okay, so I have to say I completely disagree with you. I think a lot of things have not changed since the 1990s. And actually this problem has been going on for far longer than 1990s. I remember reading an article, we can bring it up now, I forget where it's from, but we'll bring it up. They quote, "Ultra-thin ideal body image models and actresses have increasingly been featured in the media from the 1900s. And there was like a little dip in 1950s with Marilyn Monroe, who was a bit bigger, and everyone celebrated her. But then again in 1990s, really crazy, ultra thin, super celebrated, and they say that the majority of today's models are 15% less body weight than they should be in their ideal, which is really scary.
Today?
Today. Now this is from 2010.
I think that's models specifically.
Models specifically, but if we're talking about beauty, especially, I think we should be looking at the fashion industry because they are supposed to entice people to buy things, to be dressing like them. That is a symbol of beauty. And another symbol of beauty would be Miss Universe pageants, right? Like that is the only thing that they're being really judged for is how good they look.
They got a talent. They got a talent.
Oh, the talent and how they answer the questions, which is exactly the same way. But whatever. So Business Insider did a study and they found that, and they did a study since, so it was like 1950s up until like modern age, really extensive. And they found that as the average American woman aged 22 to 29, as her weight, as the average woman's weight increases, the Miss Universe pageant winner has stayed the same throughout all this time at 120 pounds. Now this is compared in 2011, I think it was, the average woman weighed 160 pounds. So whatever, the comparison is stark, but just looking at the Miss Universe pageant winners themselves, what's scariest is that they stayed about a little bit over 120 pounds, but their height has increased 3 to 5 inches.
That's a lot of inches.
That's a lot of inches.
Woo.
And not a lot of weight.
No.
Okay, another thing. Wealthygorilla.com, another really reputable source.
Wealthygorilla.com.
Wealthygorilla.com.
Yes.
As along with US Today, I think are the best sources of information.
Very good. Very, very
These are the two top academically cited.
Yeah, they're really respected.
Richest models in 2019. And again, we're looking at models. I think we should look at models. Because, you mentioned examples of individuals who seem to have, let's say, a healthier body image. Although it could be arguable if they are. I don't know their weights, particularly in relation to their height, which is really important. But even those women that you have quoted, you see the images, they look a bit healthier than the anorexic type.
They do.
But I wonder if that is a really good representation of it. These are actresses, they may be fulfilling some sort of roles, but the fashion industry, they're really there talking about beauty.
And I see where you're going with that. I would still argue that right now, we're not in like the 90s was actually a much more model time. Like on the cover of magazines were models, on L'Oreal, whatever, all those ads and stuff was models. It's not like that anymore. It is not the age of the model, it's the age of the actor and singer and celebrity, reality show, whatever it is. But they're the ones getting the big contracts, they're the ones on the covers of the magazines, so they're the images that we see as opposed to runway model type.
I'm not even talking about runway models.
Or
like Heidi Klum, for example.
Yeah.
She makes that list of 100, not 100, there was I think 20 richest models in 2019.
Yeah, she's rich.
Was Christy Brinkley on that list?
Christy Brinkley is from quite some time ago.
Okay.
So, well, no, we have Sabrina Guinness, who's from ages ago. She was a supermodel, but I shouldn't say supermodel. Oh my god, because I don't know if she was a supermodel.
I don't know what qualifies.
But Heidi Klum, for example. So, okay, she was a model. Now she's still a standard of beauty. And recently she was 110 pounds, and her height is 5'10".
Really?
And that's scary.
Yeah.
And so I would say that even though she's not a runway model per se, now she's really outreached her talent, so to speak.
Yes, she has.
Right? She's doing all these other things, other shows, other philanthropic endeavors. She's still a representation of beauty, and people look up to her, and she's a fashion model, and a lot of people want to see what she's doing. Another person on that who's a great influence is Kylie Jenner. And she's a model, but she's also a huge influence to young individuals, young females, and she admitted to anorexia. And she's on the list.
She was on the us list as well, but I didn't include her because she looked a little bit thin. You see? It's true. There's definitely I wouldn't argue that there's not still a bit of a prevalence of perhaps some women who are a bit underweight, but I just think we've still come really far since then. And we're even seeing, like, when we're seeing celebrities, and again, I'm always quoting celebrities because I think that they have more of that role in society now.
That
to create those
wholesome
ideals.
role?
Yes. But a lot of them, like, even if you follow them on Instagram and stuff, you see them exercising on a daily basis. Like, for example, I follow Busy Phillips. I find her very interesting. She's an actress, and she is huge on Instagram.
Dawson's Creek?
She's really big on Instagram.
From Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, from
yes.
Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
And Cougar Town, all kinds of stuff. And she's not known for being, like, the fittest or the best body or whatever. She's just, like, a beautiful actress, just a kind of regular person. She shows herself because she, like, Instagram stories, like, her entire day. And you see her every single day going to her fitness class. And she goes to LecFit. It's kind of interesting. It's like a lot of trampolines and cardio and stuff like that. But
that sounds like a circus. That doesn't sound like exercise.
No, it is. It's her choice of workout. It wouldn't necessarily be mine, but it's exercise she's doing. She's sweating. She's doing like a lot of.
What's her muscle? What's her visceral fat percentage?
You see, this I don't know, but
a little too specific.
But she clearly has to have, like, she clearly has some body fat. She clearly has some muscle. She has energy. You see her doing the exercise, and she has to do that every day. And it's also showing like a good example of like, we don't just look like this. We exercise every day, and this is what I do to start every day so that I can, stay kind of thing. And she had 2 kids, and she lost the weight from it. And so it's like a kind of a bit of a healthier representation of what a real woman can look like.
As a fan of Dawson's Creek, I love the reference.
Yes.
Let's start wrapping up, closing arguments.
Before I
Sure.
want to close up, I do want to say that perhaps what you're seeing is a biased view because, we happen to have a channel that focuses on fitness, and so a lot of these people that we follow on Instagram are related to fitness, and so we have this idea that, the world's changing, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very small world, and I'm not quite sure if it really represents. If we go to schools and we talk to young females, if they actually are looking up to those individuals that are working out with muscles, I'm not quite sure that females that are, let's say, healthier or even the image of what is healthier may still be that person that is skinny as opposed to muscular.
See, and I think that could be true with some of the people we follow, but a lot of the other ones that I'm seeing are just your run-of-the-mill, like, celebrity. Like Jennifer Lopez, who I will continue to reference, because she's 50 years old! Have we seen her lately? Oh my God,
We'll pop her up all over the place.
Please do! You're welcome! She has recently actually talked about getting ready for this big tour she did. She started lifting weights, and you see her working out, she has muscle, like it's not something you can fake, and she's always had like a butt that everyone's known about, but like, she is, as much as she's still an ideal, she's like a strong, active, healthy ideal that I think is just way better than like the Kate Mosses of the 90s.
Okay, well, so, what I find interesting about this is we made a video about 10,000 calories. We talked about Stephanie Buttermore in that video,
That's
and
true.
we did talk about how now she's in this all-in diet and how she's eating a lot. And one of the concerns that she had in her video, and we kind of sympathized with her too, we're like, look how brave she is, that now she's going to gain a bit more weight, and she may lose the following that she has. To me, that's an indication that, hey, and she's obviously not going to the extreme.
Yeah.
She's going from, let's say, an unhealthy weight to a healthier weight for her size, a healthier energy, and all that. We can all agree that that is good for her. And yet, we were concerned for her, and I think justifiably so.
I think she looks great.
Okay. So, from the perspective of a male, no, I won't give my perspective.
No, it's best if you don't.
Well, I will say one thing before we wrap up. Definitely from the male perspective, I have seen a change in the extent to which men are looking for curves and vivacious booty on a woman.
A booty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, we will wrap up. Let us know who you agreed with. Did you agree with Christina? Did you agree with Kat? And if you have any other controversial topics you want us to debate, let us know that in the comments down below as well. Remember to subscribe and give us a like. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.